My name is Jerry Dorsey. I want to share with anyone that's interested my rehab. In introducing myself, I'll let you know that I broke my neck at level C3, C4, C5, C6, a fraction at C3. I broke C4, 5, and 6 to the point where they had to replace it with a metal plate. I still wear the scar from the operation. This is the paperwork from Ranchos Los Amigos and also my reevaluation paperwork for my chiropractor, for my updated situation at this point. What I'm trying to share is I was told when I got hurt that for 18 to 24 months, whatever period that the swelling, it would take for the swelling to go down, I would be paralyzed to that point. Wherever I was at in that situation, I'd be paralyzed to that point. I was diagnosed an incomplete quadriplegic. At the time 24 months was up, I was still in a wheelchair. So at that point they called me 100% disabled and told me I'd be paralyzed for the rest of my life. To that point that I was at. You know, I didn't want to believe it, didn't believe it, continued to work. I want to show my regimen of working because I basically still do the same thing today. I've graduated to doing more because I can move more muscles. But it's still very, very simple. My procedure and exercising at this point can work for able-bodied or disabled. But the disabled people will understand me more when I explain why I can or cannot do certain things or what pressures I feel while I'm doing it. When I wake up in the morning, and this has been ever since I've gotten hurt. When I wake up in the morning while I'm still laying in the bed, we will save you that this time. We might get to that point where we're actually feeling in the bed and showing that exercise. But when I'm laying there, the first thing I do in the morning is when I wake up, one of my favorite things to tell myself is if I'm still paralyzed when I wake up, I got work to do. Because I don't want to be paralyzed. They tell me I'm going to be paralyzed for the rest of my life, but they told me I was going to be in the bed. They told me I was going to be in a wheelchair. I'm tired of what they're telling me. So I want to tell you a few things about what I'm doing. When I wake up in the morning, one of the first things I do is I stretch my legs out so that I can feel my whole body. Now, I'm still very, very impaired in my feeling. So I'm still very numb. And I have to remember where my muscles are, especially if I'm standing. Where I'm at so that I can hold my balance and everything else. While I'm in bed, one of the first things I do is I do butt crunches. And this is so that I loosen up this area that really controls everything else in the core. You work with your abs. Well, everybody like the pretty abs and all that good stuff there, but it's really your core where you want to work, whether your abs are pretty or not. I can remember when I had a bulge, but I still worked on my abs, or I worked on my core, and it strengthened the rest of my body. Even my legs, when I'm doing core exercises, everything gets in it. My legs, everything. One of the first things I do is I do the butt crunch. In other words, I try to clap my butt together, my butt cheeks together, and I release. Clap, release, clap, release. This is the first exercise I was told to do when I was in a hospital, probably for about not even 2-3 weeks ago. A young man that I admired who was a paraplegic. asked me a question, a simple question. It wasn't the doctor that told me how to rehab or began me on rehab or that part of rehab, core rehab. It was another paraplegic, or at least a paraplegic. He said to me, he asked me, could I feel my butt pucker? Or could I pucker my butt? I understood what he meant. And of course, him being a male talking to me, I'm thinking, is this guy gay or something? You know, what does he ask me? Now, then I thought what he, I answered him because I knew who he was. And they said, well, if you can feel that, that means your sensations are pretty good. Now, if you can clap your, or crunch your butt cheeks together, can you do that? And I attempted to do what he asked me to do. And I couldn't quite clap them together because I'm very paralyzed at this point. But I could feel the sensation of puckering and unpuckering. And he told me to work on it. He said, whatever you do, you work on it. You keep working on it. You laying in the bed, you work on it. At night, because we have most paraplegic, quadriplegics, we have this not being able to sleep then. So when I wake up in the morning at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I'm doing butt crunches in the hospital. Counting little holes in the wall, doing butt crunches. And this is the basics of what I do still today. Some of it's a little advanced from just a butt crunch, but it's the core of what I do. It's the base of what I do in working with my crunch. That's it for me.